Rachael Ray has changed the way we approach the daily meal, teaching many of us that cooking can be simple and fun. And her practical, down-to-earth methods can morph anyone into a full-blown foodie. Now this culinary mogul is here with a brand new make-ahead food prep guide to fall soups that will fill your freezer with healthy dinners for this season. Please welcome my good friend, Rachael Ray.
I love having you here, too.
So, I gotta say, you all love her as much as I do, but I have a special affinity for you. And one thing I know is, I know it's the fall because it's the Rachael Ray Show's 13th season. It's back!
Yeah! Can still afford groceries. I got a job. Yay.
Well, that's one of the things that makes you so special.
Thank you. Thank you.
The fall, besides having to go back and make the show, which is, I know, is a joy for all of us.
Fall is my favorite season, and soups are probably my favorite type of food. They really are very nourishing in so many ways, like for your soul, not just your body.
And they're great because they can take whatever you got in the summer.
That's right. And
you make it because fall sneaks up on you and repurpose it.
Yeah, late summer, early fall, I do tons and tons of make-ahead meals, and they're all soups and stews and sauces, translating the vegetables into a freezer full.
Into this.
Yes.
This is what Rachael's really good at.
Now, this is really smart. When you make your soups and stews for the fall, don't put them into those plastic storage containers. They take up too much room. Cool them down to room temperature and put them in these flat freezer bags, and you can stack up dozens of them in the freezer. And it's a great way when broccoli's on sale, make some broccoli soup. The last corn of the season, make some corn soup or corn chowder or corn and seafood soup. It's as easy as a box of stock if you don't have time to make stock from scratch. And any vegetable combination, throw it in the freezer. Make your own takeout food and frozen foods and canned foods. It's so much cheaper and better for you.
Let's talk about soup in general. I've heard you say that if you really want to make Italian food healthy,
yes,
make it into a soup.
You know, Italian food, if you're not of Italian descent, if your family isn't Italian, some people think of Italian-American food that's very delicious, but super high in calories, like chicken parm, you know, fried chicken with cheese and lots of giant sides of pasta with tons and tons of cheese. But if you're trying to trim down, Italian food and soups are actually a great way to do it. Lots of vegetable-laden soups are very filling and full of great nutrition, and you can have a little bit of pasta in it or beans, but you're not eating a ton of calories, you're just getting a ton of great nutrition.
So you brought me 3 examples of how we take these healthy ingredients.
These are 3 of my favorites.
You're kidding me?
3 of my favorites.
And you're bringing them to life for us.
Everybody loves tomato soup, right?
Yes.
A lot of people enjoy a creamy tomato soup, so finishing with heavy cream. This is an Italian traditional method of making tomato soup. You take your root vegetables. I like fennel, carrot, celery, onion are your usual suspects. I put garlic in everything. You add stock, San Marzano canned tomatoes, and you thicken the soup in a very clever way, not with heavy cream, but with a little polenta.
A little corn.
A little cornmeal in it. It makes it sweeter and more delicious. And then I love these little immersion blenders. It's so much easier than taking the soup and trying to throw it into a blender, screaming hot, boiling soup. So don't do that.
When do you add the tomatoes?
You can add them here. It doesn't matter. You soften the veggies just so they're gonna go through the blender a little easier. And then you just break this down and let the tomatoes cook out, and you thicken it with a little bit of polenta. Those are done if you want to try a little bit.
Oh, you made it already?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so prepared
today. Those are
today.
some dun-duns. It's truly delicious. It's slightly sweet, but it's savory. Isn't
and
that
full?
It's
it fills
really
your whole
beautiful,
mouth,
isn't it? And this is such great nutrition, and what else is great about soup is it stretches $1. Yeah. You know, it's the way you stretch a buck.
Why do more people not use polenta as a thickening agent? It's brilliant.
It's just, it's an Italian thing. It's a cultural thing. Like, we just, you know, people in America don't use cornmeal. If you come from the South, totally you use cornmeal. Grits, hello. So there's probably a lot of great chefs down South that would thicken up anything with a little bit of cornmeal.
This is today's hero. Today's hero from Rachael, polenta.
It's delicious and super sweet.
Okay. It's our hero. All right. Now this is a little special. This is the minestrone with chicken ricotta meatballs. But can I say one thing?
Yeah.
People don't eat escarole. This is scarole, you'd say in Italian.
Scarole,
Scarole.
yes. When you're a kid, the first meal you're introduced to is a chini di pepe, little bits of pasta in broth with a bit of greens. You know, most people know this soup from, like, it's a derivative of wedding soup, they call it, little meatball soup.
Yep.
But this one, I hope everybody downloads this. It's so delicious. If you want your kids to embrace escarole or KO, put it in with little baby meatballs and pasta, and they will love it.
But I talk about kale all the time, and I've actually gotten a lot of folks to eat it, but this isn't kale.
No,
this is a green we've never really talked about.
Is a great sturdy green that you can cook with, and it is a superfood, as they say. But scarole or escarole is milder once you cook it out. It's only slightly bitter. You can eat it raw in salads. This is, again, your usual suspects: carrot, celery, onion, garlic, stock, vegetable or chicken. And I always drop in when I make soups, this is a great tip, the rind of Parmigiano Reggiano.
Oh, yes.
The whole soup tastes like Parm cheese.
My wife does that.
You get so much flavor. It's delicious.
Waste nothing.
I always buy a piece of cheese with the rind on it, and I keep them in my freezer. Yep. It looks like Remy, the ratatouille rat, lives in my house because I got so many cheese rinds in the freezer.
With little fresh music.
But it's so good in your sauces and your soups. Throw that together, and you just wilt the greens in here. And now this, you cook the meatballs not in oil, so healthy. You cook them like dumplings, directly dropping the chicken and the ricotta into the soup. So try it. This is good.
Okay, the beans you add when?
The beans and the pasta you cook off at the same time as the baby meatballs. It's great nutrition, and children love these little meatballs. They're soft, they're sweet, and it's just ground white meat chicken and a little ricotta cheese.
And the scarole has the right texture.
It's got a
and
nice
all the
little
bitterness is out of it.
No, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Honestly, the kids will love this, and you're giving them great nutrition.
And this is why people get married to these soups.
Yeah.
I think it's a good reason for it. All right.
Delicious.
Finally, roasted cauliflower soup with a parsley salad bruschetta. Both, again, this is a classy way of taking something so good for us and making it taste unbelievable.
Everybody loves cream soups, but again, cream soups are not great for your figure, right? No. And they're not great for your arteries. So this one, we just take cauliflower and put a little bit of olive oil spray on it, or a little drizzle and toss, and then a little nutmeg, salt, and pepper or white pepper. We roast up whole heads of garlic, so it's sweet and delicious and not sharp and bitter at all. We roast this and paste it, and then we take the roasted cauliflower and you just puree it with stock, vegetable or chicken. I'm gonna serve up a warm one. This one's staying nice and hot. And then I put a little bit of extra roasted cauliflower on top. It tastes creamy and delicious, and all this is eating a giant bowl of cauliflower and stock and roasted garlic. It's so good for you. And cruciferous vegetables, right? They are so good for you nutritionally.
The best way to detox your liver, but look at how you're doing it. I'm not saying, and you can't mess it up. It's basically it's simple stuff.
It's so like rich and heavy and hearty. And it's just vegetables.
I can taste the fresh herbs. It's got this little brightness to it from the lemon.
Yeah, I always finish soups with a little bit of acid. And this
so all these soups you added a little lemon or lime to?
All of the soups have a little bit of acidity. In Italian cooking, it's very important to finish with a little lemon juice or to add some white wine. Acidity is the balance to the salt or the earthiness of our dishes.
The leftover white wine. What you haven't finished while cooking.
Like there's ever leftover wine in my house.
And then the bruschetta.
My first word was vino. There's no leftover wine in my house. We have bottles, not glasses. Sorry.
So, on that note, the October issue of Rachel's Magazine is
it's all Italian. Yeah, it's our Italian issue. You guys got to check it out.
And it's so good, right? And it features Rachel's tomato soup with polenta we started with. Check it out for more delicious recipes.
And you guys are going to put up all these recipes, right?
They're all going to be on DrOz.com. Check them out. She's going to be all over my Facebook page. You're doing the takeover of the Facebook page.
Nice.
That's 6 million people.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.